Hello movie buffs, my name is Steve aka NJMovieFreak, and today we're going to delve into your deepest, darkest fears and nightmares with Wes Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street. A Nightmare on Elm Street is a supernatural slasher written and directed by Wes Craven and produced by Robert Shea. It is the first installment of 8 in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. It stars Heather Langenkamp, John Saxon, Ronnie Blakely, Johnny Depp, and of course Robert Englund as the bastard son of 100 maniacs, Freddy Krueger. The film sat as a script for 3 years until Bob Shea, who owned New Line Cinemas, jumped on board as producer. At the time, New Line Cinemas was only a distribution company, and both Bob and Wes put their entire savings, including Wes's mortgage, on the line to get this film made. It was shot in 1 month and was released under New Line Cinema on November 9, 1984 in limited theaters until its nationwide theatrical release 1 week later. The film also received critical acclaim upon its release and has since been considered to be one of the greatest horror films ever made. A Nightmare on Elm Street was released nationwide into theaters on November 16, 1984, 40 years ago. If you haven't seen it by now,
whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Spoilers. Teenager Tina Gray awakens from a terrifying nightmare. Who wouldn't? In which a disfigured man wearing a blade-fixed glove attacks her in a boiler room. The following morning, Tina's best friend Nancy and her boyfriend Glenn, who kind of looks like Edward Scissorhands, consoles her and reveal that they each also had a nightmare the previous night. Can you guess where this is going? The two stay at Tina's house that night, and Nancy confesses to also having a nightmare about a man with a burned face and knives on his fingers. Sounds like y'all need to stop playing with the Ouija board. Tina's boyfriend Rod interrupts her sleepover.
Hi, what's your name? Todd.
Not Todd, Rod. When Tina falls asleep, she dreams of a man chasing her. Rod is awakened by Tina's thrashing and sees her being dragged and fatally slashed by an unseen force, forcing him to flee. Coward! As Nancy and Glenn barge in to find Tina bloodied and dead on the floor. Jeez. They're all going to need therapy now. The next day, Nancy's kung fu policeman father, Don, arrests Rod despite his pleas of innocence. At school, Nancy falls asleep in class, slacker, and dreams that the man chases her to the boiler room where she is cornered. She then deliberately burns her arm on a pipe. The burn startles her awake in class, and then notices a burn mark on her arm. That's some serious lucid dreaming. Later, Nancy visits Rod at the police station where he describes Tina's death along with his own recent nightmares about the same man. Seriously, why did it take to Nightmare 3 for all of them to have group therapy? At home, Nancy falls asleep in the bathtub and is nearly drowned by the man. Nancy then begins taking caffeine pills, drink coffee to stay awake, and invites 21 Jump Street over to keep watch as she sleeps. In her dream, Nancy sees the man preparing to kill Rod in his cell, but then wakes up when her alarm clock goes off. Saved by the bell, the man kills Rod. Oh. At Rod's funeral, Nancy's parents become worried when she describes her dreams. Her mother, Marge, takes her to a sleep disorder clinic where, in a dream, Nancy grabs the man's fedora with the name Fred Krueger written on it and pulls it into the real world. How could these adults not take her seriously after pulling a hat out of thin air? Shit. After assault on Precinct 13 in the house, Marge explains that Krueger was an insane child murderer who unalived 20 children in their town but was released on a technicality. What the hell did you just say? Seeking vigilante justice, she went into Batman mode. The vengeful parents of the victims find his boiler room hideout and throw a Molotov cocktail at him, unaliving Freddy in the process. Damn, that's some gangster shit right there. Nancy tries to call Glenn to warn him not to fall asleep, but his father straight up cock-blocks her from speaking to him. Glenn falls asleep and is then regurgitated all over the ceiling by Krueger. Someone needs to call Father Karras now. Nancy puts Marge to sleep and asks her father, who is across the street investigating Glenn's death, to break into her house in 20 minutes. Nancy rigs booby traps around the house, falls asleep, and when Freddy attacks her, grabs Krueger out of the dream and into the real world where she locks him in the basement. If I were you, Nancy, I would start a female Beetlejuice business and specialize in frightening nightmares out of people's dreams. The police arrive to find that Krueger has escaped from the basement. Nancy and her father go upstairs to find a burning Krueger smothering Marge in her bedroom. Bathing beauties, the incarcerated, the perverted, and drunk moms, Krueger has some weird kinks. While you're at it, why don't you cut off a few of your fingers too? I walked right into that one, didn't I? After Don extinguishes the fire, Krueger and Marge vanish into the bed. Nancy's father finally believes her. Gee, you think? When Don leaves the room, Krueger rises from the bed behind Nancy. Realizing that Krueger is fueled by his victim's fear, she calmly turns her back to him. Krueger disappears when he attempts to lunge on her, because turning the other cheek always works on bullies, let alone killers. Later, Nancy steps outside into a bright and foggy morning where all her friends are waiting for her in Glenn's car and her mother is still alive. Can this be a dream? Nancy gets into the car to go to school when the green and red striped top suddenly comes down and locks them in as the car speeds down the street. 3 girls in white dresses playing jump rope can be heard chanting Krueger's nursery rhyme as Marge is grabbed by Krueger and pulled through the front door fan window. Could be a dream, could be a nightmare. Who knows? David, something's not sitting right with me.
What's that?
The door.
What door?
Nancy's house, the front door.
What about it?
I've seen this film a million times. I remember the door being red.
It is red.
Is it?
What the hell?
That's what I said. Apparently, the door wasn't painted red until the sequels.
I checked that. Change of plans. Slight family emergency. Can you come to my parents' house in Westchester?
Oh my god.
This is God.
Beyond its villain, A Nightmare on Elm Street introduced a more complex, layered kind of horror that relied on psychological tension and surrealism. The dream sequences in the film allow Wes Craven to experiment with visuals and create an unsettling atmosphere that audiences hadn't seen in slasher films. Instead of just relying on jump scares and gore, the film explored deeper fears such as fear of sleep, loss of control, and the fear of our own subconscious. Wes wanted a strong woman who didn't trip or fall downstairs like most do in horror films. I'm talking about you, Jamie. Nancy embodies the girl next door, a survivor, one of the leading classic ingredients of contemporary horror. In a way, Freddy considered her worthy adversary, but the very tragedy of Nancy's character is that no matter how hard she tries, the only life she could really save is her own. Freddy knows what makes you tick. He knows your fears. He gets into your head and your dreams. He doesn't just kill you right away. He does a little foreplay beforehand and then goes in for the kill. At the end, when Nancy turns her back on Freddy, he says symbolically,
I won't participate in fear, the fear that Freddy engenders.
Principal photography began on June 11, 1984, and lasted a total of 32 days in and around Los Angeles, California. The high school the protagonists attend was filmed at John Marshall High School, where many other productions such as Grease and Pretty in Pink were filmed. Who says you need Michael Bay explosions to sell a film? Sometimes the simplest and cheapest effects are the best. In a 2001 documentary titled Boogeyman, The Killer Compilation, Robert Englund talks a little bit about the effects that were used in A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Gonna see one of my favorite, cheap, low-rent special effects here. Fans love this, and it costs nothing to do. There's a guy on either side here with a fishing pole and some monofilament fishing line. That's how they did that. And then those are just caps, like a little cap gun on the wall there. That's how we made that spark. Sometimes the best effects are the cheapest.
The Nightmare on Elm Street franchise is comprised of 8 films: A Nightmare on Elm Street, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and Freddy vs. Jason. What the hell happened to you?
I just barely escaped. He said you're next, man, okay?
Who?
The guy with the burnt face and ugly Christmas sweater.
Freddy? But he's... Wait a minute. Didn't I have a claw up there?
He took it, man, alright? When you weren't looking, he took that shit.
Freddy is a fictional character portrayed by Robert Englund. He's as fake as any other horror remake.
Now, hold on, man. There was a Nightmare on Elm Street in 2010, right?
No.
I'm pretty sure it starred...
No, it never happened. Marge, will you tell him?
Nancy, you're sick.
There's something wrong with you. You're imagining things. You'll feel better when you sleep.
David. David. David!
What?
Take off the earphones. We're still recording. What are you listening to?
Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper? You want some good 80s music? Listen to Dokken.
No way, bro. Alice Cooper is the godfather of shock rock.
No. Dokken actually protects you from nightmares. I listen to him while I sleep. I actually consider them my dream warriors. Young actor Johnny Depp will go on to become one of Hollywood's biggest stars. Depp moved to Los Angeles with his band The Kids when he was only 20. After the band split up, Depp's then wife Lori Ann Allison introduced him to actor Nicolas Cage. After they became drinking buddies, Cage advised him to pursue acting. Depp had been interested in acting since reading a biography of James Dean and watching Rebel Without a Cause. Cage helped Depp get an audition with Wes Craven for Nightmare on Elm Street. Depp, who had no acting experience, said he ended up acting by accident. Thanks in part to Craven's daughter, Depp blended the role of the main character's boyfriend Glenn, one of Freddy's unfortunate victims. Depp's character endures one of the most memorable deaths in horror cinema, where he is pulled into his bed and then spewed out into a fountain of blood. I guess we now know it's eating Gilbert Grape.
Jesus, dude.
What? That was clever. What'd you think, Mr. Depp? Fun fact about Johnny Depp, he's actually in a band called the Hollywood Vampires with Alice Cooper, Joe Perry, and a few others from Aerosmith. The lead actor John Saxon, who portrayed Heather's father, had a vast career. He starred in films such as Black Christmas, Battle Beyond the Stars, Enter the Dragon, Beverly Hills Cop 3, and From Dusk Till Dawn. I find it sad that a man of this caliber couldn't take on a simple boogeyman like Freddy Krueger. I mean, it's not like he's taking on Bruce Lee. A few years ago, I reviewed the 1996 film Kingpin, not realizing that actress Lynn Shay, who portrayed Landlady, is actually the sister of producer Robert Shay. In Nightmare on Elm Street, she portrays one of Nancy's teachers.
I'll call your mother. Everything's all right now.
She seems like a nice teacher. She would probably make an excellent landlord.
You still owe me another month's rent.
Whoa. Never mind. Yaphet Kotto, an American film and television actor who is famous for starring in Live and Let Die, Alien, The Running Man, and as Lieutenant Al Gardello in ABC's homicide Life on the Street, made an appearance in the 6th Nightmare installment titled Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare.
You're not!
Here's the problem. Yaphet met his demise at the hand of James Bond, couldn't survive with the xenomorph in space, and got butchered by Buzzsaw. What chance did he have at defeating Freddy Krueger? Wes Craven and Sam Raimi had what was called a call and response between them. It started with The Hills Have Eyes, where director Wes Craven included a torn poster of Jaws in the background of a scene. This was his way of saying that Jaws was tame compared to his film. Sam Raimi, a big horror fan, took it a step further in Evil Dead. He included a Rip Hills Have Eyes poster in the basement, implying that Evil Dead was even more extreme than Craven's film. Craven saw this and responded in A Nightmare on Elm Street. In one scene, Nancy is watching Evil Dead on TV, which Craven said was his way of acknowledging its impact, but also suggesting that Elm Street was taking horror in a new direction. Raimi kept the game going in Evil Dead 2, where Freddy Krueger's glove appears hanging in the tool shed. This playful back and forth became a legendary Easter egg exchange between two masters of horror, each paying homage while playfully trying to outdo the other. The film was inspired by several newspaper articles printed in the LA Times in the 1970s about Hmong refugees who, after fleeing to the United States, suffered disturbing nightmares and refused to sleep. Some of the men died in their sleep soon after. Medical authorities called the phenomenon Asian death syndrome. Other sources attribute the inspiration for the film to be a 1968 student film project made by Craven students at Clarkson University. The student film parodied contemporary horror films and was filmed along Elm Street in Potsdam, New York. The film's villain, Freddy Krueger, is drawn from Craven's early life. One night, a young Wes saw an elderly man walk on the side path outside the window of his home. The man stopped to glance inside the home, startled Wes, and then walked off. By Craven's account, his own adolescent experiences led him to the name Freddy Krueger, which was named after a bully at school by the name Fred Krueger. Did you know that there was a deleted scene where it was revealed to Nancy that she had a sister? This deleted scene adds emotional weight to the Nancy's fight against Freddy, making it not only a struggle for survival, but also a quest for revenge for the sister Freddy took from her. This scene was only included on a few rare home video releases and has been excluded from most DVD and Blu-ray versions since, but thanks to the people over at 80s Horror Doc, we can now see it.
Glenn, Rod, Tina. They all had a brother or sister once. You too, Nancy. You weren't always an only child.
Premiering on August 31st, 2023, Cecile Laird, the Horror Show Channel, and Womp Stomp Films proudly presented Dylan's New Nightmare, an unofficial sequel to Wes Craven's New Nightmare, taking place almost 30 years after the events of the first film. In the film, a young son of Heather Langenkamp, Dylan Porter, portrayed by Michael Hughes, is now a grown man trying to make his way in the world his parents raised him, in Hollywood. On October 31st, 2025, Robert Englund finally received his long overdue star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Congratulations, you bastard son of 100 maniacs! In October of 1988, a spin-off show from the Nightmare on Elm Street film series premiered called Freddy's Nightmares. Each episode was introduced by Freddy Krueger, played by Robert Englund, and featured 2 different stories. 8 episodes throughout the series actually feature Freddy Krueger as the main antagonist. The pilot episode, directed by Tobe Hooper, begins with Krueger's prosecution on child murdering charges.
I'll give you a nightmare show. You're mine now.
Hold on a second. How about a deal?
Better make it fast. This club is itching to kill someone.
You like video games, right?
Now I'm playing with power. Especially games with rad graphics. Wait, what? How'd you do that?
You're in my world now, Freddy. I'll give you an all-day pass to Billy's Midway in exchange for my life.
If this is a trick, I'll kill you fast and you can say 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. Give me that shit.
Fuck. That hurt. In the book Hollywood Monster, Wes Craven tells a very heartwarming story about how Robert Englund helped a young psychiatric patient get over his fear of Freddy Krueger. I got in touch with Robert and asked if he would say a few words to the kid into a vidcam. Not only did Robert do that, but he did it while he was being put into and then out of his Freddy makeup, describing each step of the way how Freddy was nothing more than latex and glue, and nothing to be worried about. Shortly after I mailed the tape to the doctor, I received a letter in return. The youngster was not only cured, he wanted to watch a Freddy movie.
Oh, you should be worried because I am real, not some geriatric actor.
Hey! I've met Robert, and he's no slouch. He'll kick your ass any day.
Who are you talking to?
Freddy. I don't know. I'm so tired with this review. I can't tell if I'm asleep or if I'm awake. A Nightmare on Elm Street can be seen on either 4K or Blu-ray from Warner Brothers. I would give A Nightmare on Elm Street 5 out of 5 stars. What sets this film apart from other horror films is that Nightmare opened the door for future horror films to push boundaries and explore more abstract, psychological elements of fear. The movie showed that horror didn't need to be confined to realism. Filmmakers could venture into the surreal and the absurd to create even more terrifying experiences. The movie's influence also helped elevate the entire horror genre, proving that horror films could be artistically and commercially successful. 40 years after its release, A Nightmare on Elm Street remains one of the most influential horror films ever made. Wes Craven's blend of supernatural horror, psychological tension, and surreal dreamscapes broke new ground for the genre, introducing a villain who became iconic as the genre itself. The film's enduring impact is a testament to the power of creativity within the horror genre, proving that sometimes the scariest places are not haunted houses or abandoned woods, but within the depths of our own psyches. I just have to say something about Robert Englund. This guy has done it all. He's worked on the set of John Carpenter's Halloween, Scattering Leaves, V, the series as Willie, an episode of MacGyver in 1986, the 1989 Phantom of the Opera in which he is batshit crazy as the Phantom, and Wishmaster. Holy crap, speaking of Wishmaster, this is such an underappreciated film from the 90s. It's got amazing cameos like the voice of Phantasm as the Tall Man, Angus Scrimm, Candyman, Tony Todd, Jason Voorhees by Kane Hodder, Evil Dead guy, Ten Raimi, that bum in every 80s film, George Buckflower.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it!
Okay. Jeez.
A few moments later.
Freddy's catching up! Motherfucker!
I got next, buddy.
In your dreams, bitch! Now fuck off!
If you like this video, please click on that subscribe button below, give it a like and a share. Turn on those notifications so you can stay up to date with all new videos, news, and updates. Please also follow me on Instagram at NJMovieFreak. I really appreciate everyone for watching this video. If you have any questions, comments, please post them in the comment section below. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you soon. Cut! David?
Hey, Steve!
David, is that you?
You know exactly who.
Freddy? I thought we had a deal.
Every game at the arcade is rigged. Your soul is mine.
Wait, one last chance.
No more chances!
Steve, wake up, man. Hey, bro, wake up.
What?
Hey, you fell asleep. We have to do the outro.
The what?
The outro. You still gotta do it, man.
Oh, shit. All right. How long was I out for?
About 5 minutes or so. Look, I'm gonna go get us coffee. How do you take it?
Black, please.
Okay, I'll be right there. Whatever you do, don't fall asleep until we're done with the outro.
David?
David is dead. Fuck you two. This is your big break.
Oh, shit.
You're mad right now, bitch.
Bathing suit. Honey!
What?
Have you seen my bathing suit? I can't find it in my drawers.
Bottom drawer of the dresser.
Bottom drawer. You know what this means, don't you, Steve? It means that I'm going to need a bigger bathing suit.